What's up everyone, I'm Callum on Toast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some battles in the Psychic Cup submitted to the channel by Cook SC, who's running a Slowbro, Delphox, and Hisuian Braviary. I'll be honest, the combination of Air Slash and Ominous Wind is absolutely awful, but any Pokemon that runs Stab, Brave Bird does have that strong closing power if you can give it a shield advantage. So with that being said, let's just get straight into the question of the day. What's your least favourite cup we've ever had in the Go Battle League? Let me know in the comment section down below, let me know why, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead Slowbro into Galarian Rapidash, and if you're wondering why we're using a single move Slowbro, you don't really need a secondary charge move. Ice Beam will do a little bit more damage, so if you only make it to one move, sure, Ice Beam would be better, but typically in most matchups, you just want to go straight Surf. The opponent goes for a Mega Horn there, taking out the Slowbro, but we did at least grab an early shield advantage. We're going to come in with the Delphox here. Slightly worse than Victini in this meta, but we do have some fire type fast move pressure, so up against the steel types we can probably just fully fast move farm them down, which is a lot more comfortable than going for those V-creates because they do resist the quick attack. Here the opponent comes in with a Shadow Gardevoir. We can go for that Mystical Fire, debuffing their attack, and that does allow us to live a few more charms and make it to a second Mystical Fire, which actually takes out the Shadow Gardevoir from that range. We're now going to swap straight away into the Braviary, and the opponent comes in with a Bronzong. This is awful for us. Obviously, Ominous Wind will be super effective, but they are resisting the Air Slash damage. We need a boost here. And we actually get a boost, and now we should be able to make it to another Ominous Wind, and with the boost, this Ominous Wind will be enough damage to take them out, and we get a second boost, Air Slash, farm down the Galarian Rapidash, and we're able to take that game. So I was just saying about how bad the combination of Air Slash and Ominous Wind is in the intro, and there in the first game it absolutely came in clutch, but obviously I didn't take into account the part where Ominous Wind can of course get that boost. Now the opponent didn't even farm to the potential Mega Horn there, but they do make it to a second Body Slam, throwing on the CMP tie as we go for a Surf. So not the best for us, but the opponent lets it go through. We swap, and we simultaneously swap, and that is awful for us because they come in with a Claydol. We've got two great responses in Slowbro and Braviary for a Claydol, but unfortunately it gets aligned to our Delphox. That is not great for us. We did at least grab a shield advantage there. We come in with the Slowbro. I like this play, forcing them to throw their energy. But no, we're actually going to shield here. I'm not so sure about that. I'd prefer to see us get a massive energy advantage and fully Air Slash farm down the Claydol from that range. But now, we do at least grab their final shield, but we're not going to get too many Air Slashes off here up against this Claydol. We're going to use our shield. They go for the Shadow Ball, and then they swap out straight away, so we don't even get that Air Slash farm down. The opponent goes for a V-create straight away. V-create doesn't quite take us out, and now because they've debuffed their defense, Ominous Wind will be enough to take out the Victini. They come back in with the Claydol. We do get the farm down, and we're able to farm down Galarian Rapidash as well, living with 1 HP and a Dream, and we're able to take that game. So into next game, a great lead for us as we lead into Victini, and they're staying in, so possibly very weak to the Slowbro in the back. They go for a V-create. I'm expecting them to swap out, and they swap into Shadow Gardevoir. We're going to come in with the Delphox, and you can see these charms are doing more damage than our fire spins. That is really unfortunate for us. We go for the Mystical Fire, and now we should be able to make it to a second charge move here, but the opponent does throw on the CMP tie, so very good timing there, and matchup awareness knowing they would win CMP. They go for the Shadow Ball. We actually just let it go down there. We're happy with the shield advantage. We're now going to come in with the Braviary, and they've got a Claydol, and this time it is aligned to the Braviary, which is much better for us. We're going to full send the Brave Bird here, and if this does connect, it will take out the Claydol, which is an incredibly bulky Pokemon, by the way. So we go for the Surf here into Victini, grabbing the shield. The opponent has no shields remaining. We've got 2 shields, so they just recognize the game was over and they concede the match. Into next game, we see Abra in the lead. That is incredibly spicy, but no, somehow we error out there. That is really unfortunate. I wanted to see how spicy their team was on the opponent's end. But into next game, another Galarian Rapidash lead. The opponent save swaps into Bruxish, and this seems like a really questionable decision here, but we can at least debuff their attack with the Mystical Fire, although when they farm us down with Bite, they probably will just go straight for a Psychic Fangs. So it's not going to make too much of a difference anyways, as we've debuffed their attack, but they're probably going to debuff our defense. We come in with the Slowbro here, going to let the move go through, and the opponent's actually running Crunch there, which does a lot of damage. Luckily for us, they were debuffed in their attack, otherwise we'd probably be dead already. We go for a Surf there, and we're actually able to barely water gun farm them down. They come in with Galarian Rapidash once again, and this is not looking too good for us. Rapidash is just so spammy here. They go for a Body Slam, we do call it, which is a good call. But they're already at another Body Slam here. They go for it, and we are going to be able to overfarm in this matchup. They swap into Bronzong, and last time we were able to double boost our way through this matchup. But this time we're just way too unhealthy here. And yeah, they're able to just fully feint attack, farm us down, and take that game. In the next game, we see another Victini in the lead, and once again, they're staying in. Very weird, and then they swap into a Galarian Slowking. So we swap into our Delphox. I'm not so sure about the swap. Personally, I probably would have gone for a Surf first, and then swapped into our Delphox to just guarantee the matchup here. But now we go for a Mystical Fire, grabbing a shield from the opponent, and debuffing their attack in the process. We're going to let this move go through, and the opponent's going to go for a Surf, which we barely live because of the debuff, but we don't make it to a second Mystical Fire, which is really unfortunate. We're now going to come in with the Braviary here, and we will probably have to shield once. We are going to... No, we're not going to shield. No, we do shield at the last second. It is the Shadow Ball, and we do get the farm down. The opponent's going to come in with the Victini. We're able to swap, and we CMP tie them here as they go for a V-Create. And now this Surf will definitely take out the Victini if they let it go through, which they do. And the opponent has a Galarian Rapidash in the back. I'm not sure if a Body Slam would take us out, so it looks like they have to farm to the potential Mega Horn. But the opponent lets the Surf go through, and this is going to be game over for the opponent as they've got no health. They won't make it to a Mega Horn up against the Braviary, so we're able to Air Slash, farm them down, and take that game. Into the next game, we see a Shadow Gardevoir in the lead. Looks like we tried to swap out there, but probably better that we don't, because Delphox isn't really a good safe swap here. We're going to go for a Surf. The opponent lets it go through there, and we just fully take them out now. It's a good thing we didn't swap out because we want our Delphox aligned to this Bronzong. We're actually going to stay in this matchup, which I do agree with, because we can't really afford to swap out, because that gives the opponent the opportunity to align the Bronzong up against our Braviary. And whilst we did see that absolute clutch in game one, there's not really a good matchup for the Braviary. We're going to let the next move go through, calling that it was just another Side Shock bait. We can now go for a Mystical Fire, and the opponent does let it go through, which is unfortunate for us, but we come in with the Braviary. We should now be able to live anything they throw, and the opponent goes for a Surf bait that doesn't do much after the debuff. We won't be able to fully Air Slash farm them down, so we go for an Ominous Wind here. Ominous Wind doesn't get the boost this time around. The opponent is able to fully feint attack, farm us down, but we should be able to Fire Spin, farm down the Bronzong, and take that game. Sorry, I've got a really itchy nose here. I'm not sure why. But into the next game, we see a Galarian Slowking in the lead. We're going to stay in this lead matchup, and we will make it to a Surf just before they make it to the Shadow Ball, which is quite convenient for us as the opponent lets it go through here. We are going to shield up, and the opponent full sends the Shadow Ball here. And now at this point, I think we should be able to fully Water Gun farm them down before they make it to the next Shadow Ball. They then come in with a Bruxish, and once again, we respond with our Delphox, which seems questionable, but we can't really do an awful lot up against the Bruxish. They go for Psychic Fangs bait, which does allow us to get off a Mystical Fire and debuff their attack. We grab the shield from the opponent. And now we come in with the Braviary. I'm not so sure about that. I think it would have been better to come in with the Slowbro since we did have a lot of energy already. The opponent goes for a shield there as we go for the Ominous Wind, and we can let this move go through potentially. But no, we do shield up the Body Slam. We're going to go for one Air Slash and then swap. We try to snipe with the Surf here, and Surf isn't quite enough damage to take them out. They do make it to a Body Slam. This is really unfortunate. I think best case scenario would be if the Body Slam took us out there, but unfortunately they're able to bite farm us down, and now they will be able to outpace us to the next charge move. So let's see what the opponent is running. They go for another Psychic Fangs, but we don't quite get to the Ominous Wind, and we do unfortunately lose that game. Into the next game, we see Victini in the lead, so very good lead for us once again. The opponent's staying in, they swap into their Rapidash, and we respond with the Delphox. The opponent does make it to a charge move before we get to that Mystical Fire, but they bait with a Body Slam. Really unfortunate. We're just going to go for the Mystical Fire straight away, and we do grab a shield back from the opponent. I don't think this is anything other than a Body Slam, so we do let it go through. It is just a Body Slam. They make it to yet another Body Slam. We should barely live this though. Body Slam doesn't quite take us out, and we do make it to another Mystical Fire. So this will be enough damage from this range to take out the Rapidash, and the opponent comes back in with their Victini. So we're going to come in with the Slowbro, the opponent swaps into Claydol, and we've got the right alignment here as we can come in with our Braviary, and this is looking great for us. We're going to shield up at the last second. It is a Scorching Sands bait, which is really unfortunate, but now we can go for an Ominous Wind. That doesn't do an awful lot of damage, honestly, and they will barely make it to another charge move. But it's just another Scorching Sands. I don't think they got to the Shadow Ball in time there, and now we can go straight for the Brave Bird. This grabs the final shield from the opponent. They have to go for a charge move here. Actually, I think they probably could have farmed us down, but it doesn't matter. Either way, we're going to live anything on our Slowbro. We had a Surf loaded anyways, so Surf takes out the Victini, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we see Slowbro into Malamar. So the first Malamar we've seen, which is quite surprising here, but this is probably where we want to see it. Slowbro is very bulky, so we do easily tank at least one foul play. We will make it to a Surf before they make it to the second foul play, and we're going to overfarm as much as we can before going for that Surf. Surf does grab a shield from the opponent, and at this point I think we just let Slowbro go down, but no, we're actually going to shield here, as we shield up the foul play, and we will make it to another Surf, but the opponent catches onto their own Slowbro. But it did look like a poison jab, so it is the Galarian version. And now we come in with the Delphox. We go for a Mystical Fire, but we barely get outpaced, which is unfortunate. But the opponent actually goes for a Psychic instead of a Surf. I'm not sure if they're just not running the Community Day move there, but that is very fortunate for us, as we're able to take them out with a Mystical Fire. The opponent's going to come back in with the Malamar. They have to throw a charge move to take us out because Psycho Cut is resisted and does very little damage. We now come in with the Slowbro. I like this play, forcing the opponent to throw their energy. We're going to let this move go through, and hopefully Braviary can sweep in the end game. But they've got another Galarian Rapidash, and Rapidash is just so damn spammy here. We are probably going to let the move go through. And we do. It is just a Body Slam, but honestly, they can get to two more Body Slams, likely before we make it to the next Ominous Wind, and we don't get the boost either. So here, we are going to shield it up here, but unfortunately, they will make another Body Slam before we make it to the Ominous Wind. So there you can see Air Slash, Ominous Wind. It's just not a great combination. And we do unfortunately lose that game. But into the next game, we see Slowbro into Galarian Slowking once again. So once again, probably just going to go straight for a Surf here, as we do barely outpace them to the Shadow Ball. And this Surf will do some nice damage. It does put them into farm down range if they let it go through, which they end up doing. Although this Slowbro, or Slowking, sorry, does look a little bit bulkier. They full send the Shadow Ball. We call the bait there, which is unfortunate. This should just be a Surf here, but we kind of have to shield it anyways, as it is super effective. But we do get a very nice Fire Spin farm down. Now the opponent comes in with a Victini. We're going to go for the Mystical Fire. Should have gone for one extra Fire Spin there to throw on the best timing, but we do debuff their attack there. And now the opponent's going to go for a charge move of their own. This should be resisted damage. It is also debuffed, so we do live it. And the opponent swaps into Gardevoir, catching the move. But they catch a Blast Burn, which fully one-shots them. And now we're going to come in with the Braviary. We've seen already, we do live a V-Create, just barely. We're going to shield up the first one here. Now the Air Slashes are really chunking. And this should just be another V-Create, which we will survive barely. The Air Slash that went through does take out the Victini. And we're able to take that game. And into the final battle, we see another Shadow Gardevoir in the lead. So we're going to stay in this lead matchup once again. Last time they did just fully sacrifice the Gardevoir, which was kind of questionable, but here we're going to go for a Surf into the opponent's Safe Swap Slowbro, and we're just going to stay in, it looks like, which is fine with us. We actually make it to another Surf before the opponent makes it to a charge move, or at least before they throw, and they fully sacrifice the Slowbro there. Interesting play by the opponent. Now we can align the Delphox up against the Shadow Gardevoir. They do make it to a last second charge move here, so we can shield this up. We will be able to fully debuff whatever Pokemon they have in the back, and they come in with Bruxish. This isn't too good for us here, but we can go for the Mystical Fire, grabbing the shield from the opponent, and hopefully with the debuff, we do make it to a second Mystical Fire, and this is very good for us, as this will double debuff their attack. They actually let it go through, and they should be in range where we can fully Air Slash, farm them down. They make it to a charge move, but we can safely shield, and once again, the Air Slash goes through. It takes out the Bruxish, and we take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.